Oh,
Now
damn, they missed that. But dun sports. That one went way better.
Yay!
Oh, amazing. All right. Hello and welcome to what I believe is episode 2 for this season in week 11.
We've really had a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, we're back after a brief hiatus to get to practice podcasting, spend it doing nothing else. So this will go well. And
since it's been a while, I just want to remind everyone, please give our 2018 sponsor some of your patronage. Fruit of the Loom men's thongs, $193 for a 10-pack from Sears.com. It's less than $20 per pair. You can wear them at least 3 times before washing. Get your junk together.
Those live read skills.
Yep.
That was amazing.
Also, as we're live, the hotline is live. Feel free to dial in. You can text, fax, voice call, FaceTime, SMS message. I guess that's texting, but it's area code 530-448-9804. Someday we'll make that flash across the screen, but that's not today.
Nope. I will be doing 0 editing, so that maintains the authenticity of...
Well, we don't have a producer.
It's like SNL.
We don't have a producer.
SNL.
We are hiring a producer for resume building only, no pay. But you can put down that you were involved in this. And, well, they'll know pretty quickly if they want you or don't want you for the job. So I guess that's something.
Yeah. But even though we're currently live and accepting mailbag questions, you can also submit in advance anytime. We also make it easy for you. You either leave a voicemail on the hotline. Calls are preferred to texts for that. Or you email or text Tyler or me. We'll put your mailbag in here. Comments or concerns will be ignored.
And welcome to anybody who happens to join the live stream that I just shared in the group now that seems impractical anyone could join at 11:30 a.m. on a Saturday.
Who is doing shit right now, really?
I'm doing this, so...
Yeah, fair point.
That's something. All right, let's jump into our first topic. Message from your... league commissioner. November 21st is the trade deadline. If I'm not mistaken, trades go through at 12 Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. I will push any trade through that is accepted before that time. So that's Wednesday.
Also, just to spell it out for anyone who doesn't understand the trade deadline, after that time, you cannot trade with anyone else in the league. It will only be waiver wire additions.
I have an amendment to our trade deadline. I'm either going to change it manually or I'm just going to let you know that I will be flying in the air from 6 a.m. until noon Pacific time. So maybe just assume that the deadline's the 20th. I don't know why you're trading at 6 a.m. on Wednesday anyways. So
hey, that's when stuff gets done.
You're right.
That's right.
Though I am no longer on the East Coast. I've traded in that advantage.
Ooh, that was a distinct advantage.
Yeah, well.
Which you also
now we only have one East Coast resident.
You skipped over the topic that says, welcome back, Ethan, just by the way.
Very true. Welcome back, Ethan, to the United States of America.
I honestly didn't know if that was a leftover from a previous Google Doc or a new one.
No, definitely new.
Welcome back, buddy.
Welcome to the league, Rudy.
That's leftover.
Well, hope you're having a good time, Rudy.
We have gotten some mailbag questions last minute. I'm adding those into our show sheet, and then we're going to get into it with one of the most popular segments, Goats versus Woats. It's been a while, so Tyler, can you remind everyone what the Goat and Woat are?
Yep, GOAT is going to be short for greatest of all time. Usually we'll pick something, or pick, I guess, kind of throughout the season this time because they're not really going on a weekly basis as much, but we would pick, the best play that made sense in a week. If you did something that was especially remarkable or a good trade or whatever. And then WOAT is worst of all time. And this is where we talk about Francis's team usually and anything else that you guys have done that's pretty stupid.
There's a lot of things.
Oh, I'm so ready for the WOATs.
All right. Well, WOAT. let's start off with worst trade of the season. There haven't been that many trades, but there have been a couple, I would say, fairly key ones.
True.
So
I know
This
my
is-
choice for
yeah.
worst trade.
I was gonna say my worst and best. I feel like there are two sides of this particular trade.
I think we're thinking of the same trade, Ted.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, that's gonna go to James for trading Lamar Miller for Adam Thielen.
Yeah. Wow.
Nailed it.
Wait, is Adam Thielen still the number one wide receiver?
I believe he is.
And what team is Lamar Miller on in the league?
Texans.
Not
answer
James.
Rudy's
Not
team.
James's.
Yes, not James's.
So knocked it out of the park there.
Oh, wait. Also, who did James lose to last week?
Was
It was
it?
me.
It was you.
me. Adam Thielen was on bye, but whatever. It still felt pretty good. Didn't even need him.
Still counts. that's
I
funny.
really think that's probably got to be the worst trade for James.
Yes. Yeah. Obviously, best trade for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know how or why James did that.
I can understand
So,
at the beginning of the
I had a-
season the concern that like Diggs is going to become big dog in Minnesota, and Lamar Miller is the bell cow on Houston, but Houston can't find the red zone. So like, I mean, he still shouldn't have done it, but at least he can talk himself into it.
That's true. You can at least try to reassure himself with the
He
bad
could have had
choices.
Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, that's true. I missed out on that opportunity.
Speaking of missed opportunities, James also missed an opportunity to make what I think would have been a nomination for the second worst trade in the league when he tried to step in on the trade that I had with Connor and for some reason decided he really wanted Keenan Allen and Zach Ertz, despite the fact that he has Travis Kelce already on his team. And
Well, maybe he
James-
just saw Connor start 3 tight ends and thought, I could do that too.
I
he
mean-
tried to trade away all of his starting running backs.
Which, for those who
Again.
aren't aware, he's been struggling to find starting running backs the entire season.
And he was ready to give up 2 of them and a wide receiver to get another tight end in the 22nd overall wide receiver.
You know, James
Nailed
is
it.
playing 4D backgammon.
I'll be honest. I almost
4D.
didn't counter on James's trade because it made James's team so much worse. But at the end of the day, I knew it wasn't about James's team being shitty. It was about mine getting better. So
Exactly, because anyone can win any week, except maybe Rudy. But we'll get there.
Rudy's not allowed to win.
Poor Rudy.
Yeah. Hey,
We'll get there.
He's been
So,
extremely unlucky.
Other votes that I have also involving James is the worst drop of the league. There's 2 nominations here. I'll let you guys pick which one you think is worse. James dropped Tevin Coleman after Devonta Freeman became injured for the rest of the season. And Phil dropping Jared Goff because he was bored.
I have no idea why Jared Goff was dropped, so I'm A-okay with it.
Yeah, I genuinely think that dropping the number 3 overall quarterback is probably the worst drop in the long run. Despite I think his blind faith in Aaron Rodgers
That's what it is.
I think also, though,
makes it hard.
the context of Tevin Coleman being dropped, as we just went over, a very running back needy team,
Right.
makes it a terrible play. But I do
That's
think
a fair point.
I think Phil made the worst drop. Like sometimes he get attached to that brand name of Rodgers, but Rodgers is being controlled by Mike McCarthy, and
Who is a
sometimes
fucking tard.
that's enough to make it terrible.
Yeah.
So I didn't do any preparation
Phil, you won something.
for this vote, but what would you say is the worst going down with the ship moment? So we've talked about when people get dropped who shouldn't be, but who is being clung to that it's time for it to be done?
Le'Veon Bell.
I was going to nominate Connor for Le'Veon Bell as well because I actually offered him a trade probably
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks ago. I tried to get Bell from him thinking, I can make a late run push. Connor needs to start winning some games to get in the playoffs, and he declined. And now I'm thankful that happened. But he needed to ship that piece away before his team was 3-7.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he saved someone's life or something when he wasn't thinking about that.
Do some good in the world.
I don't actually know what kind of doctor he is. For all I know, he's like just doing hernia surgeries or like scooping out old people's butts. I don't really know.
Just gives kids shots.
He's actually a butt implant surgeon.
Yes.
Connor, what do you do? I know you have time to listen to this podcast, I'm sure.
He puts it on while he's doing surgery so that he's calm and collected and paying attention to the incisions. Well, I think that can take us into the GOATs. So we talked about the worst trade. What about and we sort of talked about how one of the trades, Phil's trade or James's trade, had a good side for me. But are there other things you nominate as the best trade of the season so far? I will share. I think that Connor and Tyler's gets a special nod for the complexity of it. I don't think we've ever had a 3-for-3 trade go through in our league that I think is almost balanced. While I think Tyler made out a little better, that's largely because Tyler's team in general is better, and Connor had to do something to attempt to salvage his team. So I think ultimately, like, that is the kind of trade we want to see in this league, of really thought out and quite well executed.
Yeah. I was going to nominate that trade just because I think both teams got better. So someone didn't necessarily win the trade, but we were able to mutually improve two teams. I had a surplus of running backs, and he had a couple pieces he could do without, having owned 4 tight ends and stuff. So, I mean, and we see that he's already scoring more points because of it. If he beats me this week due to the trade, that would suck dick. But otherwise, I'm happy going into the playoffs.
I wouldn't worry about that. So, go ahead, Ted. Oh,
I was just sneezing.
Unacceptable.
That's why I flipped my mic up and away from my face.
Sneeze of the season.
So do we have, this is my actual quite curious one. Who would you say is the best ballsy start of the season so far? Someone who you wouldn't have thought would be worth it, but someone's faith was rewarded.
I'm not going to lie. Connor last week for actually starting Eric Ebron when Jack Doyle came back, and Eric Ebron getting 3 fucking touchdowns. That was pretty ballsy, and it really paid off for him.
Yeah, that's actually, he had a rushing touchdown. What the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
Was it a shovel pass? Or that wouldn't count as receiving.
Yeah, that would be a receiving touchdown.
Well, that's just surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be mine. The chasing the touchdowns is a very bold call, and it worked. I went back to see if James had the balls to start Patrick Mahomes week 1, but he did not. So that would have been my choice, but at least he recovered. It was a good choice.
Did he draft Mahomes?
Drafted Mahomes.
He did. Okay. He did. Late. Drafted him pretty late.
Because I wanted him. No, I think I'm also going to leave it with Connor, because that was a bold choice. But Rudy is my backup, because I never have had any faith in Mitch Trubisky, and Rudy has started him for all of his big games.
The last few, like what, 4 or 5 weeks in a row, I think he started Trubisky.
I mean, yeah, he started him since at least week 9, and I remember week 9 because that's when he failed to score over 70 points.
And also, like, Stafford has just been getting sacked. So his offensive line, the Detroit offensive line is just a giant steaming pile of garbage.
And that's making him super inaccurate. So
right. I mean, he has no time to throw, and he's getting shit on every single game. And now
there's no Golden Tate and no Marvin Jones. So I guess.
Yeah. So he's
what are you gonna do?
So I mean, but the fact that Trubisky's grown so much this season, I mean, like, it's basically the same kind of thing that Goff was doing last year with the introduction of McVay. Like, you think about, like, having Matt Nagy, who really was invigorating the Kansas City offense last year.
Yeah.
Coming into the system with a young quarterback is the same kind of formula. And obviously, I mean, the Bears are 6-3 right now. They're looking pretty good.
Look good.
Good
Oh,
rushing
dangerous.
floor. Plus, they have a good defense, so a lot of time on offense.
That helps a lot.
They're definitely not just giving the ball to Jordan Howard.
No, they're not.
Yeah, that was
No,
my
not at all.
that
Sorry,
was my
buddy.
slam dunk draft pick, but whatever. So I put also GOAT for Team Spirit Award, but nah, no one wins that.
Just nobody. All right.
So if anyone hasn't already figured it out, our guest this week is Ted, who sometimes wins, sometimes doesn't.
I'm
but we
500
have
right
him
now,
on.
so that would be a sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, so we're our hot topic for him. We're gonna get into some others, but as an Oakland resident, do you need to breathe quality air to be good at fantasy football?
Let's take a look outside real quick.
I will describe this scene for anyone who is just listening or visually
Jesus.
impaired.
You can't even see the hills from here, and that's like
It is very gray.
that's like 2.5 miles away.
Imagine a smoke machine, but also someone's chain smoking cigarettes into it, and that's outside Ted's window.
It's pretty fucking terrible right now.
Yeah, that's
Normally, my view is very, very nice outside this window, but it's pretty shitty right now because of how smoky it is.
Yeah,
But
well, I'm glad you're still carrying on.
I'm carrying on. My tight end is gone for the year.
You don't need thumbs.
Connor has some.
I've got 3 right now. Trade
I
me.
used to have OJ Howard.
Oh, I'll trade you a tight end. Do you want Burton?
We'll figure it out later. I'm not going to discuss this on the show. We'll discuss it
tight end
later.
on the year. We'll
Evan
talk.
Ingram, he's got cool hair.
Like I said, we'll discuss this outside the show.
Wink, wink. Okay. So, other topics. Tyler, do you want to introduce some of our questions for our esteemed guest?
Sure. All right. Oh, these are just for Ted to answer? Cool. Ted, would you consider Rudy the new James, and why or why not?
That's a hard question because James has gone with the zero RB strategy this year, but Rudy's team is genuinely not that bad. He's just been very, very unlucky. I think he has either the highest or the second highest points against out of any team. He has been extremely unlucky. So I don't think that he is the new James.
Rudy has the highest points against by
more than 100.
Yeah,
I think almost 200 points.
That is very poor luck. Like, you can only get scored on. You can only have 150 points scored against you so many times, and he has gotten it probably the maximum amount of times. And he's also had like a couple weeks where he's just had total shit output. But he's had some times where he's scored over 140 points and then lost.
I think one of the
and that's really hard because I don't think that I don't know if Rudy has played fantasy in other leagues before. He has. Okay, so
I think he's more of a fantasy basketball player. If I'm not incorrect,
he is more of a fantasy basketball player, and he had a little bit of a rough start to the season, and he hadn't done a draft before, so that's tough.
Okay,
but he does have more points for than Connor, Francis,
probably me too.
And he's 6th in points for.
He is. Oh, is he? He's ahead of Ted.
Yeah, I think so.
He's 6th in points scored.
See, he's very unlucky. So,
well, I think what we really
don't think that he's
here,
the new James.
And this is one of the key make or break points: is does Rudy have a girlfriend who may emasculate him for being this bad?
I don't know. I hope that he lets us know, and then we can talk about his girlfriend for about 15 minutes on the next pod.
Yeah, maybe her name will be Kristen with an I.
Can we get Kristen to leave a message for the pod?
I'll see about texting.
Just shit on James. That would be great.
We'll do that next week. James is running a marathon tomorrow, so we'll leave him in peace this week.
Yeah. Peace-ish.
I would say the thing that I think Rudy versus James here is that Rudy, I think, has legitimate worst to first potential, which would be James.
That's a fair point.
Both of them play with confidence. Like, there's some intelligence behind their decisions that they're making, or some thought, I should say, not intelligence, just some thought. Whereas, we have other people in the league, Sam, Francis, are terrible. And so Rudy made conscious decisions to put together a good team, whereas James usually makes conscious decisions to ensure that he loses. And I think that's where the difference is, even if Rudy is a worst to first candidate.
I'm just going to go with inconclusive evidence.
That's fair. I think we need a second season.
Too small of a sample size.
Also, yeah, because Rudy, it's his first season. We'll have to see how he does.
Too small of a sample size.
That's fair. So, something that is more predictable: can and will Connor make the play? Because he can make the playoffs, but will Connor make the playoffs?
Yeah, he can mathematically.
He
no problem.
needs to win the next 3 weeks, correct?
And other key players need to lose.
Okay, got it.
Like everyone who actually has a good team has to lose to people bad teams. So like if I somehow lose to Francis,
just needs me, Phil, and Sam to lose. Okay. Let me look at the schedules here. Let me see who he's playing the next 3 weeks.
Well, he has me this week. He has Phil. Oh, that's fun.
Phil week 12?
Phil week 12.
Okay, week 13.
James week 13.
The Phil Connor matchup is a must-win for either of them to make the playoffs.
Yes, it is. That legitimately might decide who's in the playoffs.
I'm going to go with yes.
Yes, he makes
it?
I'm
going to go with yes.
How does he do?
He beats you.
Oh.
Then he beats Phil.
I mean, the only way
he has to run the table.
Yeah, he has to win all of these.
He has to run the table, so I think he can.
I think he can beat James, and I think he will beat Phil. I don't know if he's going to beat me or not. I think, right now I'm projected more, and I've got a strong team, so we'll see. But I don't see any reason that he can't beat James or Phil handily.
It's going to be fun to see. Exciting down to the end. So, Ted, in your opinion, what do you think is the best team name change? There haven't been too many team names, so let's just open up to best team name.
I mean, Rudy's name is pretty great.
Is he the Blair Mitch project?
Yeah.
I like it because it's a twist on the classic Blair Kick project. And I don't think Blair Walsh still plays.
That was a thing either.
The Blair Witch project?
Well, the Blair Kick project when you owned
Blair Walsh.
Blair Walsh is your kicker.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. But okay, I'm gonna.
Well done.
Can I give a vote for this?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that's our next question.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's Francis, closely followed by Tyler.
Oh.
Your team name blows. Gooder than Goodell. Like what? Where is your create, dude? Although it's hard to match up to last year's. Your team name last year was too good.
I had to balance it out. I came up with preseason.
This is low effort.
Yeah, I came up with it preseason. I'm like, okay, I'm a commissioner, and he's a commissioner. Gooder. I probably could have changed it up at some point. You know what? Maybe if I have a fantasy player inspire my team to victory this week to really put me in contention for that bye week, then it gets changed.
I do need to change my team name now that I've left Maine, but
it's still a good name.
Yeah, I think it'll ride out this season.
I think it's officially out.
But that unfortunately means that I'm most similar to the Raiders since they're the next one to move.
Good point.
Not the best.
Yeah. So I don't think we've had any bye week plays. That was gonna be one of our questions, but as far as I can tell,
there was a week.
Phil not starting a kicker.
Yes.
Which week had like 9 teams on bye?
We've had a couple of weeks that have had 6 teams on bye.
Yeah, those were tough.
That's
Those
one we
were
probably
tough.
should have picked.
I think
Yeah.
Phil,
It's definitely Phil playing with no kicker.
no kicker, especially because that can make or break it.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to
That was
move
against
into
me.
the mailbag. We have at least 3 questions. I'll take one last look at see if anyone's
And
submitted.
they're
to
all
mail.
from Sam.
They are all from Sam. So, first question. Let me pull it out of the mailbag. What steroids should I take to draft better? I think reading about what players play for which team. So knowledge.
You could eat carrots because that helps with your eyesight, and
There you
therefore
go.
you're reading.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you could
Take some,
they're nice. and
inject
they're
some vitamin A
ash-shaped, so
supplements.
yeah, well, carrots
Or-
are nice and kind of dildo shapes. You can still shove a carrot in your ass if you're,
There you go.
I assume that's why people take steroids, is they want an excuse to put
Suppositories.
things into their
Put
butt.
things in there. Yeah, there you go.
So,
Also,
therefore-
I'm gonna go with marijuana or Ambien because if you fall asleep in auto draft, you might do better.
Wasn't that one of the topics?
Yeah.
The preseason pod that was betting on if Sam was going to auto draft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No one
Sam
auto drafted
auto-draft.
this year. It was
No
impressive.
one auto drafted.
that's
I got pretty drunk,
Ethan, is that a bummer?
but did not auto draft.
Is that beer like a 22 ounce?
My beer?
Yeah.
No, I'm just drinking slow because I'm sick.
Oh no! It looked bigger than
Oh
Your
no,
heels.
it's just the motion, perspective.
Oh, it does
Um,
look big. Yeah, I see what Ted's saying.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot. But then it's followed by, but it's actually regular sized.
Yeah.
So I think the key takeaway is don't do steroids. It'll shrink your testicles.
and make you rage.
And yeah, and you don't want that. So this question is a little premature, Sam. So hold on to your Fruit of the Loom mail thong. When are we doing the live draft 2019? Still at Big Bear? Well, Sam, this season's not even over. And I know your schedule doesn't fill up that fast. So I'm going to go with probably near the same time as last year and probably at Big Bear.
I'm going to follow that up. If I'm living here in LA, odds are I'm just going to say I'm opening my cabin up again. I feel we left a lot of Big Bear unexplored, and there's a bed for everybody, and it's free. And we're asking people to travel for the live draft. I know that, we all make money now, but not we need to spring for a hotel to draft money.
It's a wonderful
So,
space.
and it's beautiful up there. Maybe we'll use the extra money to take a boat out on the lake next time.
Hell yeah. Okay, now I can't. I'm losing my voice. Someone else take over.
All right, this is if you had to have sex with any player on the Rams, who would it be and why?
Well, I can tell you who Sam would have sex with.
Who
Is there a redhead?
It's Cooper Cup.
I figured Sam would get right on that.
Sam would fillet Cooper Cup for sure.
Who would I
That's
pick?
right. It's fine.
Well, recently on Twitter, Jared Goff shot his shot at Halle Berry.
I did see that.
I admire that attitude.
I see where you're going. Go after Goff. Try and get in on that threesome.
Exactly.
What a guy.
That's my plan.
What a guy.
I'll fluff if necessary.
I don't want to have sex. I just want to be cuddled by Andrew Whitworth. He's a large teddy bear-like man who gave his whole paycheck to my city, and wouldn't mind just hanging out on the couch with him for a while.
Do you think
That's nice.
Greg the Leg is penis joke?
I want to see Greg's 2 legs and see if they're, I guess 3. Oh, I don't know. Do you think they're massively different sizes? Do you think his left leg's like really skinny and then his right leg's just this?
I think kickers actually, I think they try to keep them evenly developed, but I'm sure it's different. Though I feel like the planting leg is probably really the burly.
Should
I
be.
hadn't thought about that. Maybe they're developed in different areas.
I think that's probably a good point.
That is, they're pretty hurt their
I'm gonna
groins.
start working out my left lat and right pec. See if we can get weird.
What?
Your back is gonna be destroyed.
It's already bad. I'm getting an MRI soon.
All right. Well, we're going to move into the pick'em predictions for Week 11. We've talked a little bit about this, mostly based on can Connor make the playoffs. But let's move into our first matchup. Our esteemed guest Ted versus Philip.
So I picked myself to lose this week.
I also picked you to lose.
I also picked Ted to lose this week.
Yeah,
I have no confidence.
sorry,
in
Ted.
my
Your
team.
team sucks.
It does. The only way I win this, the only way that I win this week, is if Golden Tate actually gets involved in the fucking Philly offense, which I have been reading things that they're trying to get him more touches, but
even
also,
bigger than that, though, Philly needs to get involved in the Philly offense.
Carson Wentz has scored over 20 points 6 weeks in a row.
Yeah, but have the Eagles scored over 20 points 6 weeks in a row?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Eagles are 4-5 or
They
5-4.
They are.
They're not.
No, they're 4-5.
They have to win basically out.
Yeah, Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah, it seems real.
It's what happens when your whole coaching staff gets poached.
Well, Tyler,
True
I'm
that.
assuming you also chose Phil for this one.
Oh yeah, I also chose Phil. I think it'll be close, and I think it makes the playoff race really interesting. Because what do you guys both will be 5-6 at that point? I think, with Connor knocking on the door and Sam hanging right around there. So that'll be pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Connor versus Tyler, I'll defer to our guest Ted to go first because
I picked Connor for the post-trade seal.
Yeah. I think that Tyler's going to win, but I wrote it'll take years off his life. I think it's going to come down to the last game. They're going to be yo-yoing with Connor up, Tyler up, and it's going to be a nail biter, but Tyler will win by like 2.4.
I'm going to see when our players play. Oh, God. We have Tariq Hill and Sammy Watkins on Monday. There's a good chance that's probably what it's going to come down to, if I had to guess, is we won't know until Monday, especially with the potential that either of those players can score over 20 points on any given week. I think I'm going to get the win. I think that there's going to be a bit of a regression on his trade players. I don't think Leonard Fournette puts up 33 points again. I think Pittsburgh's a real team. I don't think the Jaguars have a real offense.
Are they playing the Titans?
Jags playing Pittsburgh.
That'll be an interesting game.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game. I think it'll be a negative game script, which won't help for Fournette's production either. So
Bortles.
Someone just start Bortles. This is the week. Eric Ebron doesn't score 3 touchdowns again. That's not going to happen. I just look at last week where Aaron Jones, Leonard Fournette, and Eric Ebron all scored over 30 points for Connor, and he still scored less than me. I'm not worried.
Seems like a good attitude. Well, other interesting, probably already locked up. Rudy can't make the playoffs, and James is looking likely. Like almost, actually, I think James is guaranteed. But James versus Rudy, what's going to happen?
I picked James to win, even though I don't want him to. But just looking at the matchups for this week, I don't think it's going to be close. I think Mahomes is going to have at least 30 points this week. I think Kelsey is probably going to have at least 25. I don't think it's going to be close.
I put that I want it to be Rudy with my whole core because it just takes another person out of the bye week conversation. Even though I play James next week, so I can do it myself. But based on what Ted said, he's right. Mahomes and Kelsey are going to be over 25 points each, and
the Rams secondary is not good.
I think it's actually going to be an insane upset for Rudy.
All right.
He's got Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks could put up 40 points.
Yeah, Cooks could score multiple touchdowns. Mitch Trubisky, Chicago versus Minnesota, I think is either going to be this low-scoring grinder, or it's going to be one of those games that surprises us all and it'll end like 42-47.
It's like when the Rams played Minnesota.
But the big difference is that Minnesota has Everson Griffin again. And all of a sudden, now that he's back, their D-line is just crushing. They had 10 sacks last week. 10.
That is quite a few. Oakland
it's going to be
one of the worst.
Fucking over.
Duke Johnson's back. He could do 100, 200 total scrimmage yards game. I'm kind of clutching at straws the more I look at this.
Ethan has talked himself out of picking.
Harrison Butker is going to score 40 points.
There it is. He's got it.
Yeah, I'm still going to say Rudy with the upset, but it's looking less likely. But book it.
I can see Deion Lewis, Kerryon Johnson, Allen Robinson, Derrick Henry, and Tariq Cohen all scoring in single digits. It could happen. It'll be close.
We will see.
All right. Francis versus Ethan. So Ethan's going to pick himself. And
Why
then
are we discussing this?
Because it's Francis.
It's Ethan. Ethan wins.
Do we want to talk about how shitty Francis's team is for a minute, just because we're here?
He does have, I will say this for Francis's team.
He has 2 really good running backs.
He has really good running backs. But I still think I will win.
Agreed.
Because he's starting Larry Fitzgerald as one of his wide receivers.
Against Oakland, to be fair.
Yeah. He has no bench. And yeah, if his running backs both score 30 points, maybe this becomes
still not going to win.
Conversation.
Well, Kareem Hunt's very good, but I think Kansas City is going to if they beat LA, it's going to be through the air.
Yeah, but I mean, Kareem Hunt is definitely a big part of their air game.
It's true. And so is Christian
McCaffrey. Has a lot of receiving yards this season.
Yeah, but I think red zone it would go to Kelsey.
Wait, at the end of the day, if Kareem Hunt goes off and scores 27 points, Alvin Kamara is just going to do his thing and score 25 points again. James Conner is going to score as many points as Christian McCaffrey does. And then you have Odell Beckham and Thielen against T.Y. Hilton and Juju Smith-Schuster. It's over.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah. But we'll see. If I beat Francis earlier this season, so I'm hoping I can get the clean sweep.
Interesting that you're starting Marlon Mack.
We'll see. Nothing's decided.
Fair enough.
Mind games.
Last one. Tiza versus Sabo is our last matchup.
Tiza by 40.
Tiza
by 40.
A lot.
Yeah, by at least 40.
I said this will be decided by 1 p.m. when the 10 a.m. games end.
Yep. This one's not going to be close.
Yeah, this is going to be a bloodbath. Tiza's going to have the luxury of benching Todd Gurley, I think, is how much he's going to win by.
Yeah. I think the only questionable thing that he's doing is starting the Atlanta defense. But hey, maybe he knows something I don't.
What?
He's starting Atlanta over the Vikings defense against the Bears.
That's a
second-year rookie quarterback.
That's a questionable offense.
Maybe
he's just that confident that Sabo sucks.
Has scored negative points 4 times this season, and
Atlanta?
they've never scored over 8. Oh yeah, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Has never scored over 8 points.
That is, look, if that pays off, then we'll give him a nod next week for best bye week.
Yeah. It's also a pretty swaggy move. Just be like, Sam, fuck you. I'll start one of the worst defenses.
Sam, drop Cooper Kupp. Why is he on your bench? He has a torn ACL.
I don't know if Sam knows. Oh, by the way, Sam, you can add new players as the season goes on.
Use the add player button. Fun story. I actually told a girl, Ethan, you'll remember her, Amy.
I remember Amy.
She posted on her Instagram story, how do I add a kicker? And showed a screenshot of her typing kicker into the player's search bar with no results. And I said, don't type anything and scroll down. And she messaged me back, oh my God, thank you so much, with a bunch of heart emojis.
She's also the girl who once told me that she doesn't know how much money she makes, but she assumes it's 6 figures because her bank account has a lot of money. That was her dad putting deposits every week.
Oh, that girl.
She told me she felt unsafe in your car because it felt poor.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, I sold that car for $100.
Yeah, fun story. I ran into her. Literally, I was running, and she yelled, Tyler, and I turned around. She was running. Well, she was walking. But we talked for a minute, and she was definitely chunkier. And then she messaged me on Instagram and was like, hope your run went well. And I'm like, hope yours went well. Hangover runs are tough. And she's like, yeah, it's even harder when you're obese. And I was just like, I don't know how to reply to this.
Just be like, enjoy your money.
Yeah, enjoy your money. Send me some.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So that will take us to our, after doing a little bit of life recap, we'll go through a season recap since we've missed several weeks. For those of you who don't know, I was busy abroad and couldn't really record podcasts, but I was still able to rack up a good amount of wins. It's satisfying. So it's been a rough introduction for Rudy. So we just wanted to send you our heartfelt wishes that we hope other things in your life are going well. because fantasy football.
Is not one of them.
No, but I don't really know what you're up to, but I hope it's good. For some reason, I think you're getting a teaching credential, and if that's the case, good on you.
So he is James.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We touched on this, but I just feel like we should highlight it again. Le'Veon Bell was not a good draft pick.
No.
It's hard to fault him for taking the consensus number 2 overall.
Right.
But
No,
he fucked up.
I don't fault the drafting of Bell, but I do fault not considering an exit strategy, especially knowing that one was presented.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it is. The draft decision made sense. The decision to double down on it did not.
Yeah, because you needed to recover from that quicker rather than make a late season push. We should celebrate that Julio Jones has caught a touchdown. 2, I believe. Is that right, Ted?
2 in a row.
Yeah. So our earlier buy or sell, will he get 3,000 yards with 0 touchdowns, was incorrect. So
that being said, how many receptions? I believe it was triple-digit receptions that he had without a touchdown.
Yeah, we had to.
Easily.
Yeah.
He was at like 190 when he caught one, I think.
That's wild.
Yeah, so right now though, I mean, just seeing his season totals right now, he is over 1,000 yards. Yeah. So I don't think he's going to get to that 2,400 mark.
That is very uncommon for people who don't follow football.
Only one person has ever been over 2,000, and that was Megatron.
And he was very good.
I'm going to draft him next year.
So, playoffs are pretty much locked, but there is some wiggle room based on if people who have been doing well start losing and people who are on the cusp start winning.
So those of you who haven't looked, Ethan, 100% locked to make the playoffs. Martiza, 100% locked to make the playoffs. Myself, 100% lock. And James, 100% lock. Can't miss the playoffs. No matter what, the worst record we finish with is 7-6. Still good enough to get into the playoffs.
Some of us would be 8-5. That's the worst possible we could finish with. But I'm playing some really bad players, so.
So after that, though, so the 4 spots are locked. After that, it's actually pretty fun. We've got Connor and Francis are 3-7. Sam and Phil 4-6. Ted at 5-5. There's a good chance after this week, Ted is 5-6. Phil is 5-6. Francis is out of the playoffs because he's not going to make it.
We did not announce. Rudy is 1-9. I'm sorry, bud, but you're the only person who just can't.
You're the only one in the conversation at all based on math.
But you have a win. You're not the Browns.
And, you could get another one. So there's that. Beat Francis. I'd love if Francis was last place.
That would be great.
Every year I predict he'll be dead last.
But yeah, so there is still a chance that any of these, it's most likely going to come from Ted, Phil, Sam, or Francis. No, I'm not even going to say Francis. Just Sam, Phil, or Ted are going to round out those last 2 spots.
Sam,
so our question
Phil,
is,
Ted, and possibly Connor. He's still in the conversation. Round out the last 2.
It's less likely. So who are your picks for the 6 teams in the playoffs in order if you can? And remember that now the people who are already locked are playing for a bye.
I'm pulling the standings back up.
I've thought about this a lot. I think that Ethan is going to finish first. I think he's going to win this week. He plays Martiza next week, which is very interesting. Basically, the winner of Ethan and Martiza is probably going to finish in first place.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be Ethan. And then he'll finish winning out. Second place, I'm hoping, we'll see, will be myself. I think I'll win this week against Connor. I think I'll beat James next week, and then Sam's a bye week. So I think I'll finish with one game worse than Ethan and wrap up second, with Martiza being third with his loss to Ethan. And then James will fall to fourth after losing to me.
James is already in fourth.
No,
he's tied for third.
Yeah, he's technically tied for third. He'll be solidified in fourth. His team's not as good. He's 50 points scored behind me. After that, I think Phil comes through and he's going to beat Ted today or this week. And I think that he finishes out the season just good enough to wrap up spot number 5. And then I think that Ted squeaks out spot number 6. And Sam, Connor, Francis, Rudy, in that order is how the rest finishes.
Interesting. Very interesting. I have similar standings. I feel pretty confident in myself. I think I can take the first overall, but I think Martiza is still going to manage to be second. So Martiza and I will enjoy our bye weeks. Then Tyler and James. So really the first 4 are going to go in that order. But I think Tyler will finish with a better than James record.
I agree.
The final 2 spots, looking at it, because Ted plays Francis, I think he's going to get at least one more win. So let's say he's 6 and 7, worst case scenario. I still think that means he's going to finish better than any other players. And Phil will also be 6 and 7, and they will round out 5 and 6.
So we got the same 2 getting in there with
and then
Sam.
The other players will probably be Francis, Connor, Sam, Rudy. They can play for the toilet bowl.
Right.
Yep. That'll be fun.
I have the current order of the top 4 is the same for me as well, Ethan. So Ethan, Martiza, Tyler, James, and then I have myself, and then Connor.
It's actually going to be really interesting coming down at the end, where there's a chance that Francis plays Phil for the last playoff spot. Because last week, Ted plays Martiza and Sam plays me. And me and Martiza are probably playing for that bye week based on points for. And you guys both pick up losses. And, maybe Francis is just getting a win away from squeaking in. I think Phil is probably my pick for the most secure chance.
Or I could beat Martiza again.
Or you could beat Martiza again.
I scored 160 points against him the first time.
Anyone thinking that their season is over, you can still make the playoffs unless you're Rudy.
This is going to be a fun last 3 weeks.
Should be.
So, who's your pick for last place?
You got a lot on the line.
Oh, Rudy's last place for sure.
I'm hoping Rudy's going to finish last place in the regular season, and Francis is going to lose the loser's bracket.
Yes.
I was going to say, I think while Rudy will have the lowest ranking in the season, he's going to beat some people in the consolation bracket.
I agree.
And it's going to be, as much as I want it to be Francis, I think it's going to be Sam.
I'd be okay with that too. Team Auto Draft deserves it.
I think Sam is going to finish in last place. Last point, kickers are dope just in general. It's a good position.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we got some buy or sells to wrap up the pod.
Yeah,
we're going to do it.
Buy or sells.
Can I grab more beer first?
Sure. Okay. Sprint.
Oh, we're doing a beer break. I'll grab one. Okay.
I'll just sit here and entertain everyone with fun facts about the league. Conceived in 2013, our league has been playing now for 6 seasons. That math sort of works out. Yeah, because 2013 counts. I would say our silliest overall first round draft pick would be Robert Griffin III in 2013. That was a very silly draft pick. Other notable wild draft picks would probably be, I think had someone take a defense in round 6 or 7 one year. Yeah, those are facts about the league. Welcome back.
Yeah, so Connor actually took the Broncos defense in round 7 one year. And then Aaron Rodgers round 2 was also a bold draft pick that we've seen.
I went with my favorite fact of the league and our silliest first round draft pick ever being Robert Griffin III.
Okay, that was
Michael Charney.
Could have worked out worse. Michael Charney no longer with us.
He's not dead.
This was the only year that I didn't play.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
that was my.
We should also take a moment to remember
year.
One season we grew to 12 players and had 2 romantic partners in the league, and that was a mistake.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah,
I think that was my second season in the league, and I remember drafting Tom Brady very early that year. That was the year after that.
That was the rule on league expansion, if it happens at all concerning partners. I think if there's not a ring on it, it's not happening.
And even if there's a ring on it, we're going to consider.
Yeah, even then, it's up for debate.
Yeah,
and also
Rachel wanted to join last year, but You guys said no.
That's true.
No
As we
ring.
learn from past mistakes.
Yeah.
But it's good because she ended up winning her league last year. So.
Yeah, and then I'd be really sad. So, buy or sell. During free agency, Le'Veon Bell becomes a 49er.
No, sell.
No.
I also sell.
It's not going to happen.
Oh, okay. Well,
It
where
would
do you
be
think he
rid-
goes?
I think
Eagles.
I don't even know how his free agency works. He's not technically a free agent.
Jets. Jets. They have money.
They have so many other problems to address.
And he doesn't give a shit about anything other
Dude,
than
Eagles
what if
would
he
make
went to the
sense.
fucking
Eagles-
Raiders?
Eagles would be a great landing spot.
It
I mean,
would.
Eagles would be good, but I think he's going to be a Jet.
What if he went to the fucking Raiders, though?
That would be silly.
That'd be hella troll.
That'd be so dumb.
First season
The
in
Las
Vegas.
Vegas Raiders.
Here comes Lev Bell.
Well,
Fucking NFL players in Vegas. That'll go well.
it's going to be some fights. Buy or sell. Nathan Peterman gets signed by another team before Christian Hackenberg.
Sell.
I'm actually going to buy it.
I'm gonna buy it.
I think that Kaepernick gets signed to a team before either of these guys do.
Wow.
Really?
That is bold.
Really?
I can throw 5 interceptions a game. I'll do it for half the money. Someone sign me.
I was surprised the Bills cut him, but I see a world in
It's
which
a step in the right direction for them.
Yeah, I see a world where he ends up on a team. I'm not exactly sure who. Maybe Raiders or Cardinals.
You're right. The Raiders have got
Raiders. Let's talk about this dysfunctional organization.
They're going to start Nathan Peterman and Le'Veon Bell. And
Well, speaking of the Raiders, buy or sell. Raiders get and then trade the first overall pick of the 2019 draft.
I'm buying this because I don't think that Gruden wants to make the first overall pick. Then he'd be held accountable for something.
Yep.
I think he's much more confident trading it away because he's going to milk this $10 million a year he's getting. He's going to last probably 5 losing seasons there before someone's finally like, okay, time to pull the plug.
Like, we'll pay him. Just get rid of him. I am going to buy as well because I think like he's just amassing picks. And if he has that juicy first round pick where he's like, yeah, I could get 2 or 3 picks for it, he's going to do it.
Yeah, maybe he will build a decent team with the most amount of rookies I've ever seen.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say he's going to build a decent team.
Oh, you just think he'll get more picks. Okay. Yeah, I see. He's going to go first round and early second round to get rid of it. Yep.
I'm going to sell because the number 1 overall draft prospect right now is a defensive lineman.
Yeah. Who he said
from Alabama. So I think.
Wait, we're talking about Bosa? He plays for the Ohio State.
I am not talking about Nick Bosa.
Who do you consider the first?
A guy that's on Alabama right now that is definitely the number 1 draft prospect.
I know who Ted's talking about.
What's that?
Yeah. So I know who you're talking about. I'm blanking on.
Yeah, so I think they'll just go that way.
I feel it. All right, buy or sell. Phil makes the playoffs. I'm buying this. I think Phil comes in and beats, who did I say he's playing, Francis last week or Sam or whatever? I think he can beat both those teams, and that's how he gets in. No problem.
I think he's going to do it.
I sold because I picked Connor to make it before him.
We deleted something. I don't know what's happening.
They were leftovers.
It was a leftover.
So our last buy or sell, because it always ends with something on this topic. James is doing way worse in his other league with Kristen's family members.
Buy.
There's no way James is over 500. Buy.
Yeah, buy. I don't think James has more than 4 wins.
I think that Kristen is reconsidering how much of a man James is with every week that passes in that league. And then James is like, but I'm winning in this one.
That's why he's going to run a marathon in this like kind of terrible air. Just be like, look at me, I'm strong.
He's got to do something to prove that he can be a winner. And if it's running a marathon, then, I'll be tracking it tomorrow. I hope he does well. I think he's trying to break 4 hours. I think that would be exciting. So
he's going to do it. Good luck, James. Despite everything I say, I hope you do really well.
He's put in the work. I've been following his progress. He's ready.
The air is not too terrible down there.
Yeah, nice. Luckily he is. Yeah, he's really inland. And the worst of the air is more west. So he'll be all right.
Wow. That takes us through our show sheet for today. Ted, anything you want to say to our valued listeners?
I hope you all choke on dicks and you all lose.
Well, couldn't have said it better myself.
I will
Everyone-
echo that sentiment.
Protect your junk.
I'm gonna
And
keep
your
getting
lungs.
drunk.
Submit to the mailbag. And good luck on Sunday.
Cheers, boys.